A canine trained to protect.
You can look at his eyes and tell something different.
Euthanized after his handler's arrest. The county records incomplete. And a shelter dog euthanized after biting 2 people. The state recommends a 10-day quarantine.
If that animal survives that 10 days, we know it did not have rabies.
He was gone the next day, using a method Georgia law deems a last resort. 2 animals, 1 shelter, the records, the questions, and a search for answers. When systems fail, people pay the price. We trace the damage, expose the truth, and fight to fix it. This is Uncovered by Atlanta News First Investigates. A Clayton County K-9 deputy is dead. Kona, the drug-sniffing dog, was put down after his handler was arrested.
Now, animal rights activists say missing records from Kona's time inside the county shelter may reveal inhumane treatment. Atlanta News First investigates why advocates say the deputy deserved better.
He was like a son to me. I call him Sunshine.
Clayton County Sergeant Rhonda Johnson loved Kona like family. She wasn't his assigned handler, but she knew the canine well from training days.
Every time he would see me, he would get playful, jolly.
Johnson says after his handler was arrested, the dog she knew was gone.
When I saw him at the kennel, it wasn't the same Kona. It wasn't the Kona that comes to the gate and say, hey, where's my treat at? I know you're finna rub on me. You can look in his eyes and tell something different.
Kona was donated to the Clayton County Sheriff's Office after his owner died in 2022. He worked inside the jail, trained to sniff out contraband. But in October, Sheriff Levon Allen says he discovered Kona's assigned handler was the one sneaking banned items in. Sheriff Allen arrested the handler on 3 felony charges. But when deputies went to get Kona from the handler's house, Kona attacked, biting a deputy, according to the sheriff.
Nobody could handle him at that point. And we were looking for a place that he could go. If he's attacking people, I can't bring him to my home with my family. We ended up taking Kona to animal control.
Clayton County Animal Control is run by Clayton County Police.
Through the night, there was incidents that took place at animal control to which they were concerned about the behavior as well.
Even Johnson couldn't reach him.
Seeing Kona, I cried. I did. I'm not gonna stay here and say I didn't cry. I cried. I showed emotion. I loved on Kona, so I seen Kona. I've played with Kona. We've played tug of war, we've played catch. To see him in that type of mindset, it kind of broke my heart. It did break my heart.
And if he was gonna be sweet and soft with anybody,
it would be me.
The team says they had to figure out what to safely and humanely do with Kona.
Are we gonna leave the dog in a cage? Is that what we're gonna do? And just slide food through a slot? Is that humane?
I made that decision for Kona to be put down. I received 3 opinions from experts, a decision that was not made lightly.
But how Kona died, that's where this story takes a turn. Animal rights advocates say his case highlights concerning euthanasia practices at Clayton County Animal Control, specifically the use of painful intracardiac injections known as heart stick euthanasia. Georgia law says that method can be used only if the animal is unconscious. Advocates learned about Kona through open records requests, drug logs, and surveillance footage.
In the video, you can see that a staff member is using a catch pole for this part of the procedure, but Kona, according to law, should have been unconscious at that time.
And the drug logs they received for 2025 are missing 1 page, Kona's.
It did not show that he was provided an anesthetic, which is different than a sedative. That's when we learned that the 2nd page of that month's drug log had not even been included in the records.
When advocates asked for the missing page, the county said it would no longer provide drug logs, claiming they're exempt under personal, medical, and veterinary records law. Advocates say that doesn't apply to public shelter animals. The drug logs are the only way they know how animals are being euthanized. For example, the records reveal the staff veterinarian used the heart stick method nearly 90% of the time in a year period. The Georgia Department of Agriculture, GDA, cited Clayton County Animal Control for a euthanasia violation in March, then removed it the same day. Now, they're explaining why. A state spokesperson tells us the shelter told inspectors they were no longer doing euthanasia on site and switched to using a third party. That was an acceptable reason for inspectors to remove the violation. But here's the problem. The inspection happened while the shelter's veterinarian was on leave. In July, when we asked Clayton County Police who's actually been performing euthanasias since then, their answer contradicts what the state believed. Police say their in-house vet performs all euthanasias, with 2 outside vets filling in after hours. And on Kona specifically, they say all protocols, applicable state laws, and veterinary standards were followed. Advocates insist it's not good enough.
Many found it extremely upsetting that Kona was removed in a garbage can, and it wouldn't have been known to the public had we not picked up his name on that drug log from October.
Sheriff Allen says his office wasn't involved in the euthanasia process.
I made that decision. Ultimately, at that point, it was handed off to the Clayton County Police Department.
And the sheriff's office vows Kona won't be forgotten.
And as long as I'm sheriff, his name and his stone will always remain outside of the sheriff's office.
I'm always remember Kona as a hyper, little young puppy. Does his job, did a heck of a job. You're not gonna walk past Kona and you're not gonna see that his tail is wagging. He just wanna be loved on and hugged on. So I'm always remember that.
State records do not cite any county wrongdoing in Kona's case.
Next, we meet another shelter dog advocates say did not deserve to die at Clayton County Animal Control. We investigate biting incidents inside the county shelter and contradicting records.
It's the #1 problem in our schools.
At Atlanta News First, improving literacy isn't a headline, it's a commitment.
No one is doing more to help than Atlanta's independent station.
We're investing in their future.
One book at a time.
First in our schools.
New legislation inspired by Atlanta News First investigation.
And first with solutions.
Lawmakers approved sweeping legislation that's aimed at tackling a crisis.
Atlanta News First.
Independent.
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 Independent. First for Atlanta.
Animal shelter staff described a dog named Barney as very sweet. Weeks later, he was dead, euthanized before the end of his treatment.
Atlanta News First investigates what happened and whether the staff is following state protocols. We want to warn you, some may find this video disturbing, but it's important to see what's happening inside the county facility.
Yeah. On the picture, he has wings.
You may have seen his face on the side of McDonough Street in Jonesboro as animal advocates protest the death of Barney. The 2-year-old pit bull crossed over the Rainbow Bridge in February.
Their lives matter. They have pain. They have fear.
When surveillance video of his bite incident went viral, animal advocates say Barney's fear was felt nationwide. The Clayton County Police Department, who oversees animal control, says Barney attacked a kennel staff member and an inmate on work duty after they inserted a microchip.
The dog had scars on it like it had been fighting for his life for a very long time.
That's what Captain Kevin Hughes, who's in charge of animal control, said in a June board meeting after surveillance cameras captured what came next. Footage from a hallway shows the staff veterinarian in a bay cutting Barney's head off his lifeless body for rabies testing.
Nobody wants to mistreat an animal.
Let's start from the beginning of Barney's story with the county.
This is Barney.
The pit bull came to the Clayton County Shelter at the end of January as a stray, a process documented in a police incident report. Barney's offense, running at large.
He is non-dog reactive as he shows no signs of aggression towards dogs. People-friendly and very sweet.
But he was also on the urgent list, meaning at risk of being put down. After 3 weeks in the shelter, on February 12th, a rescue said they were coming to get him. That's when staff and 2 state prisoners on work duty inserted a microchip near his neck before his release. This is the needle they used. Surveillance video shows a prisoner wrapped a rope leash, known as a soft lead, around Barney's snout as a makeshift muzzle.
We have no idea how this inmate was trained to do this.
Mimi Steiger of the Shelter Reform Network obtained the video through an open records request. After the insertion, the prisoner removed the lead. That's when Barney lunged. The police incident report states Barney bit the prisoner's thumb and the staff member's arm. Both had to have reconstructive surgery, according to police. Another prisoner leashed Barney and he calmed down. The incident report states the dog had not previously shown any aggressive tendencies towards staff. The next day, February 13th, Clayton County euthanized Barney. Surveillance cameras then captured the staff veterinarian removing Barney's head for rabies testing, a protocol the Department of Public Health says is typical for specimen collection.
Barney had been placed on a plastic trolley cart, and the veterinarian and a veterinary technician proceeded with the rabies sampling, removing Barney's head while not wearing PPE. They didn't wear any facial coverings, only gloves were used. It was stunning, to say the least.
Animal Control said in a public statement the Georgia Department of Public Health requires a specific brain specimen for analysis and does not accept the animal's entire body for testing, adding that testing was critical for timely and informed medical decisions. The Georgia Department of Public Health rabies guidance states a dog that bites a person should be observed for 10 days if feasible as an alternative to euthanasia and testing. But Animal Control's own records show discrepancies. Barney's kennel card states he was euthanized on February 13th, but also bite quarantine from the 12th to the 22nd. The drug logs also show Barney was euthanized through intracardiac injection, the heart stick, a controversial, painful method that Georgia law says should only be used as a last resort on an unconscious animal. The state issued the county a violation in March for using it so frequently, and we found the veterinarian used it nearly 90% of the time from January 2025 to February 2026. A state follow-up inspection in June found no violations. We also found the rescue still wanted to take Barney, even after the bite incident. Email records from February 13th show the rescue wrote, "Once his quarantine is up, we will still pull him." But video surveillance shows Barney was already gone. The rescue coordinator responded, "He is no longer available, but I appreciate your compassion." We checked with the Georgia Department of Public Health on their 10-day quarantine recommendations.
Is it kind of just like a case by case, or should they actually be quarantining them?
If there is a concern that a dog has bitten someone, and then they want to observe that dog for 10 days prior to any sort of action.
The deputy state epidemiologist says rabies typically kills an animal within days, making a 10-day observation window reliable.
Keeping the animal alive, if it is humane, if it's healthy to do so, and if there is a safe and secure place to do that, if that animal survives that 10 days, we know it did not have rabies at the time that it bit someone 10 days ago.
Barney's test results came back 5 days later, negative. Advocates filed complaints with the Georgia Department of Agriculture, which oversees animal shelters. The state's March inspection report states Captain Hughes told the inspector Barney was euthanized approximately 10 days after the incident. But records show it was the next day. The state inspector wrote that animal outcome decisions are solely the responsibility of the shelter.
He had already been impounded over 20 days and had shown no signs of rabies and could have been quarantined. So if that was their judgment call and they did believe that Barney's posed a real rabies risk and needed to be sampled, then why were they not fully outfitted with full PPE?
And while those questions remain unanswered, the county has made it harder to get answers in the future. Less than a month after the Barney video surfaced, police changed several shelter cameras to live feed only. The public can no longer request that footage. Clayton County Police told us it was an operational or administrative decision and say there's no county requirement to record video. When we requested training protocols for inmates, Clayton County Police told us there are no written protocols. It's a checklist. Another thing Captain Hughes addressed in June.
We're now implementing training programs. We were deficient in that, and I will admit that. But now we're implementing. These things are going to take time, but we're going to do those things.
The footage went public. Then Animal Control stopped recording video on several cameras. Animal advocates say it's no coincidence.
2 animals, 2 deaths, and countless questions about what's happening inside the Clayton County Animal Control Shelter.
I've seen videos of things that break my heart, and it kind of feels like Animal welfare is not the top of anybody's list because there's so much going on in the world, but their lives matter. They have pain, they have fear.
It's really hard and it's really stressful.
First, a sheriff's drug-sniffing canine named Kona euthanized after his handler was arrested on felony charges. Advocates say surveillance video and a missing page from the shelter's drug logs raise concerns about protocols.
But if we don't fight for them, who will? Who will? Because they don't have a voice.
Then there's Barney, a 2-year-old pit bull who was put down, his head sent off to health officials for rabies testing instead of the state's 10-day recommended quarantine. The county says all protocols were followed. I'm going to bring in investigative reporter Anastasia Almos to go behind the investigation. Anastasia, in both of these cases, who's in charge of these life and death decisions, and what standards are they using to decide euthanasia versus quarantine?
This gets very complicated. So you've got the shelters who, in this case, it's run by police department. Police are in charge of that shelter. Now, you want to believe that there's some sort of oversight on operations, but that's where the Georgia Department of Agriculture only has certain things that they can enforce. So one, they're really coming in to make sure that it's clean, it's healthy, humane, and that they're following, euthanasia protocols. However, they don't have to be consulted when dogs are put down or, if decisions are being made. That is solely up to the shelter. And they've told us that. When it comes to rabies testing, there really is more of a guidance from the Department of Public Health. So it's not like they broke a law by doing something against the recommendations of DPH. It's recommendation. So when it comes to the law, that's when it says, you should do this euthanasia first, this euthanasia second, and third would be the intracardiac injection, the injection to the heart.
So many parts of this investigation hard to swallow for advocates watching or larger audience watching, particularly that heart stick method. Why is the county using the heart stick method so often?
In our original reporting on Behind Closed Kennels, we had the vet's response, which she told GDA over the phone the day that they issued that violation. And she said, well, because of the type of sedation that I do, I have to do intracardiac injection. Still trying to figure out what that means.
So if the cameras aren't recording anymore and the drug logs aren't being released, I'm left wondering what oversight is left here.
I think all of Clayton County animal advocates and even all of our viewers are left with these same questions. And I, in talking with the police department, tried to figure out, well, what are the requirements for cameras recording? Are you allowed to just choose what cameras are recorded or not? And some interesting questions we raised in our investigative unit is if you have inmates, you have prisoners, state prisoners working on a detail, do you have to record what's going on or do you not have to? When we reached out to police to ask them, the response was interesting. So I actually want to read that for you. One of the captains in charge, he said, based upon the information presently available, the change to certain internal surveillance camera settings in March appears to have been an operational or administrative decision. At this time, I am not aware of any evidence establishing that the change was made in response to the circulation of the Barney videos, and any assertion to that effect would be speculative. He said, as to the departmental requirements, the police department maintains surveillance systems for legitimate operational security and facility management purposes, and there's no requirement to record. So when it comes to recording and drug logs, we are now going to try to see how common this is for an animal shelter to not release drug logs and to not record video. So that's the next part of our investigation.
Very compelling reporting. You can listen to all of our extended conversations on these stories right now on our podcast, Behind the Investigation. Just search Atlanta News First on your favorite podcast platform. You're watching Uncovered by Atlanta News First Investigates, a weekly hour-long investigative show with new episodes launching every Sunday at 7.
How many innocent people do you have to search before you find what you're looking for?
These are lives that are at stake.
How much of this funding has gone towards your nonprofit?
You also have eyes and ears, and you know what's in that internal affairs investigation.
You guys can't explicitly say, we are investigating this doctor.
You latched on and you never let go.
It sounds to me like you're doing work as a general contractor.
Yes, sir.
Are you a licensed general contractor?
No, sir.
We expect you to do better.
Would you share the receipts and financials with Atlanta News First?
If I never would have saw your story, I never would have known what was going on.
We would still be stuck. We would not be here if it were not for you.
Exposing corruption.
Finding solutions.
Protecting your money.
Helping you stay safe.
Uncovering the truth.
Join us for Uncovered by Atlanta News First Investigates, Sunday nights starting at 7.